Many view conflict as a destructive force rather than a constructive one, and I'm going to challenge this perspective today. Hi, I'm Shuchita, a psychologist and a family therapist, and today I will show you how a conflict, a seemingly negative aspect of a relationship, is crucial for your growth and sustainability. Now, let's understand what is conflict. Conflict, in its essence, is a manifestation of differing viewpoints, correct? It's an opportunity for you to learn your partner's perspective, to understand their values, to find a common ground. It's an essential ingredient in the recipe of a healthy relationship. When we ignore or evade conflict, we're merely sweeping our issues under the rug, creating a breeding ground for a resentment and misunderstanding. We're putting a band-aid on a wound that requires stitches. Addressing conflict head-on while uncomfortable fosters empathy, understanding, and ultimately connection. It's the cornerstone of a relationship's growth and sustainability. So are conflicts really the villain we've painted them to be? Let's dive deeper into this by examining some real-life case studies. Now, meet couple A, who practiced the silent treatment, a seemingly perfect couple sharing laughs, love, and life together. Yet, behind this picture perfect image, there is a silence that's deafening. They've mastered the art of a silent treatment. Every time they hit a bump in the road, instead of addressing the issue, they chose silence. They believed that by avoiding the conflict, they're maintaining peace. Each disagreement between them is followed by chilling silence. It's as though they've hit the mute button on their relationship. No words, no fights, just silence. They think they're dodging conflict. But what's really happening here is they're allowing resentment to build up. Their avoidance doesn't dissolve disagreement, it only delays the inevitable. The issue remains unaddressed, unresolved, and eventually they pile up. Each partner thinks they're protecting themselves and the relationship by not engaging in conflict. But in reality, they're eroding the foundation of their relationship. The mutual understanding and connection, the intimacy, it all starts to crumble under the weight of unspoken words and unresolved issues. You see, the silent treatment isn't just about silence. It's about the lack of understanding, the absence of communication, and ultimately, the erosion of trust. It's the ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And when it does, it leaves a trail of hurt feeling, unsaid words, and relationships on the brink of collapse. So, what's the takeaway here? Silence isn't always golden. In a relationship, it can be a dangerous weapon. It can create a wall of misunderstanding so high that it becomes impossible to climb over a breakdown. As you can observe, avoiding conflict by practicing the silent treatment only leads to more issues down the line.
Now let's look at couple B, who believed in the brush it under the carpet approach. The out of sight, out of mind strategy. They thought that by ignoring their conflict, they could maintain an illusion of peace and harmony. But what they didn't understand was that problems don't just go away. They don't just vanish when you turn a blind eye. Now, couple B were like your any other everyday couple. They had their disagreements, their arguments, their differences, but instead of addressing these issues head on, they chose to sweep them under the rug. And every time they did this, they were adding a little more weight to that invisible load that they were carrying. Even though they weren't talking about these issues, they weren't forgotten. They were still there, simmering beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to bubble up. And when they did, it wasn't just as simple as an argument anymore. It was an eruption of pent up emotions, past hurt, and unresolved issues. What this couple didn't realize was that by ignoring their problems, they were not only pushing them into the future, but they were also allowing them to grow, to multiply, and to become far more significant than they initially were. So, what's the takeaway here? It's simple: conflict, disagreements, confrontations. They are not inherently bad, they are a natural part of a relationship. What matters is how we handle them. And ignoring them, brushing them under the carpet, is not a solution. So, how can a couple handle conflict eventually? Let's delve into the heart of the matter: healthy conflict resolution. The key to resolving dispute in a relationship is not about winning an argument. Instead, It's about reaching a point of understanding and compromise. This is a bedrock upon which healthy relationships are built. Conflict is not inherently bad. In fact, it can be a catalyst for growth and change. It is how we handle these conflicts that determines their impact in our relationship. So, what is a healthy conflict resolution? It's a process that begins with open communication. Now, what do I mean by open communication? Open communication is like oxygen that keeps the flame of love burning. It's about expressing your feelings and thoughts honestly, without fear of judgment or retaliation. It's about being genuine and transparent. It's not about speaking, but also about listening. Active listening involves giving your partner full attention, showing empathy, and acknowledging their feelings and perspective. Understanding is the next vital element of healthy conflict resolution. It's about seeing the world from your partner's perspective. You don't have to agree with everything they say, but you should strive to understand where they're coming from. This requires patience and empathy, and it's a skill that can be cultivated with practice. The final piece of puzzle is compromise. This doesn't mean giving up your needs or desires, but rather finding a middle ground that satisfies both parties. Compromise is about flexibility and willingness to adjust for the sake of relationship. When couples embrace these strategies, they can turn conflict into opportunities for growth. They can learn more about each other, deepen their bond, and make their relationship more resilient. It's like turning rough stones into polished gems. It's a process, and it may not always be easy. The rewards are worth the effort. Remember, love is not always about agreeing, but about navigating disagreements in a way that respects and values each other. Resolving conflicts healthily allows couples to understand each other better and grow together. So, finally, should we really brush conflict under the carpet in a relationship? We've seen the answer is a no. Avoiding conflict, or the silent treatment, might seem like a quick fix. It's an easy sweep, but pretend does not exist. By not addressing the issue at hand and just moving on, we're denying ourselves and our partners the chance to grow and learn from these conflicts. It's like ignoring the weeds in the garden, hoping they'll just disappear. But they won't. So your conflict will multiply, it will choke you. Instead, we've seen that in a healthy conflict, it's not about winning or losing, it's about understanding, growing, and learning, and listening to your partner's perspective and sharing your own. It's about coming to a mutual agreement and compromise that respects both the parties. It's about fostering a safe space for open and honest communication. Addressing conflicts keep a relationship healthy, respectful, and viable. Conflict will always be part of any relationship. They're not a sign of failing relationship, but it's an opportunity to strengthen your bond. So the next time you find yourself in the middle of a disagreement, remember, don't shy away from it. Embrace it, learn from it, grow with it. It's not the absence of a conflict that makes the relationship strong, but the ability to handle it effectively. For now, this is it. Until next time, if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe.